I have never studied war. In fact, even the nature of the way that I've resisted um, warmongers and fascism has pitted me against other peer civilians. I have complained against violations of my rights to pursuit of happiness, to poetry, to art. And what the British did to help George Bush pull off his special targeting of me was to weaponize my family. They went on weaponizing the testimony of people who I was testifying against by empowering them to torture me again. The injuries are very severe. I'm deaf, I have neurotrauma, I now have Parkinson's. My life is a living hell. And these people in our communities who allowed this to happen have always butchered the truth so that nobody would see the reality of the extermination program Israelis ran from the University of Pittsburgh on the streets of the city of Pittsburgh. They kidnapped, tortured me, and gassed me. They brutally attacked me. It was like being shot. I was only 11 years old. They poisoned me with a nerve agent, made me deaf. Dragging me through glass was something they'd laugh about and talk about openly, which they did. I lived in terror, hiding in towel closets, like Anne Frank, which is what they wanted. And they laughed and said, top shelf. These are the people of the city of Pittsburgh, lionizing Peter Gabriel's association with David Jeffen. And they ran not one, but two special education projects, one in which I was gassed and deafened, the traumatized, neurotraumatized, over by that facility for children with Down syndrome where the Israelis were caught using cattle prods on patients in the city of Pittsburgh. I'm not talking about Gaza. I'm not talking about Lebanon. But I am talking about the Israelis. Israeli Air Force people who worked in that facility were using cattle prods on children with Down syndrome. Now, I owe a great deal to a girl with Down syndrome. I have a great deal of respect for people with Down syndrome. She taught me sign language, and I was able to go back to school. The city of Pittsburgh refused to allow me to learn sign language the entire time I was growing up. They could see the trauma. They could see I was deaf, and they were laughing. Why teach them sign language? They corralled me into a situation where they were using me for sex. And that was a motive counterpoint for the people who came in to weaponize testimony. They went around, who was sleeping with him? Who was sleeping with him? Did he run away? And they made it into a sort of hit and run story. People asked, why were you playing into this tragedy? I said I could tell that it was an operation. It was a military operation. And when their papers fell into my hands, I was proven correct. Greg Carl had written, the persona, meaning me, was subjected to successive degradations of the X motive. In other words, they had me where they wanted me, and I was neuroobedient and traumatized. And the only way I could get any kind of friendship from any of the girls was to just entertain them as they wished. And the British were laughing. The British women were laughing. Oh, he's going to teach us the manner of his tongue. We appreciate you, Clary. Like something out of Geoffrey Chaucer. While they set up the extermination of Gaza, because make no mistake, I have been warning people in Seattle for decades that the Jeffrey Corporation and Nosferatu, who were behind the attacks by Gail Burston, the extermination program run out of Carnegie Mellon University's city of Pittsburgh. I've made it clear over and over again through countless representations of their documents confirming that this is true, rubbing our faces in it. And I've gotten nothing but flack from the left and from the right for no reason, except that they had a little loophole written into their script about John Lennon's Houdini. So Mick Jagger says, I represent the people who are being exterminated. When I go and dance and wiggle in Tel Aviv, it's for the children of Gaza. Yes, I am the neuro captain of the ship of genocide because of this loophole about John Lennon who pulled a Houdini, so they could say he's the one who mattered. If he was here, he's the only one who could have saved us. And Peter Gabriel says everybody must exist in a state of uncertainty. And it becomes like a papal decree. They're all like, yes, Pope Penis Gabriel. Every single innuendo he slurred from Gale Force on his album So for Gail Burston, who he snidely alleges helped John Lennon escape to martyrdom. She didn't kill him. Only Queerball could have saved him. And you're supposed to make sense of this. You're supposed to say, oh, that makes perfect sense. I can feel it. I can feel what that means. And the meaninglessness of it serves to facilitate endless gyrations on behalf of the web-spinning storytellers from Access Hollywood who pulled this stunt. And it's absolutely impossible to know who was in on it because no effort was made to apprehend Gail Burston. So you have people who are suspects in Iran, in Russia, back in the USSR. Yoko Ono's whole fort of celebrities is full of this murder on the Orient Express. And the domino effect is you let her Gail Burston get away with the AIDS attack, and now you're dealing with Gaza and Lebanon is coming. And toot, 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 toot. But the web spinners know where the real lines are. They've made certain kinds of agreements. We'll have certain theaters of war. And people will talk, and everybody will choose sides, and everything will be martialized, and there will be conscription. Conscription. I saw. Elementary, Watson. I saw. Charlie Chan, Honorable Honolulu Detective. Conscription. Universal conscription. I saw. And they have it so that your electric razors can blow up. You know, your iPhone, boom, blow your head off, you know, because you spoke out against Clint Eastwood. And it goes through the artificial intelligence relay system of Moon Unit Zappa. And it goes beep, beep, beep. Clint Eastwood, they paged you, they said your name. Beep, beep, beep. He goes through the roster of people who he for the ones that he doesn't like, and blows up their iPhones if he feels like it. With no regard for whether any of these people might be sincerely concerned to protect the human race in the United States of America and Iran from crazed robots. They use the children of the city of Pittsburgh, the elementary schools, for what they called a special education Holocaust experience. And then did it again on Mount Desert Island during AIDS. And now they're burying children alive. Thousands of them, burying them alive. While Mick Jagger does his wiggle gyrations in Tel Aviv. And we're supposed to cry only that John Lennon pulled a Houdini. That should make us cry. Whoa! Oh my God, John Lennon's Houdini! Oh, the other people, they don't matter. They're inconsequential. They're collateral damage to what Adolf Hitler did to the European Jews. Because we're going way back in time. We're balancing the books way back in time. Knock, knock, knock. The Bible says your house belongs to me. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Torah, 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 Torah who?